Well, hello there, everybody. Tis I, Photo Dave, and tonight is Thursday, which means we have a live stream. Now, I didn't start on time, it would seem to some, but I did start this at 7. It looks like maybe some kind of connection was a little screwy, so I started it. There was an 8-minute recording of me doing a live stream, and then nothing. So that got deleted. Anyway, we're trying this again. So tonight's topic is going to be about how exactly to focus your connection. Or focus your connection, focus your collection. Obviously, the connection and everything is still on my mind for the missing YouTube live stream. So that's the topic. Here's the thing. If you're catching this on the replay, make sure and let me know in the comments how you focus yours. And I just want you all to know, if you're going to say something like, I just collect what I like, that's cheating. And here's why. SDCC showed us tons of awesome stuff, and I like tons from everyone. Everyone was putting out a lot of cool, well, maybe not. Well, anyway, we don't have to get into that. But for the most part, I really dug everything I saw at SDCC. I dig a whole ton of stuff that's out there already, but I got to put rules on it because there's money and space, and I got to make sure that it all, doesn't overwhelm me in either or both departments. So that's what I'm saying when it comes to I just collect what I like. I understand. I'm totally down with that. I get it. And if in your head that's working, because in your head, what we don't see is, well, I only collect turtles from this specific thing, or I only collect DC characters from this specific. That's totally cool. I'm good with that. Or maybe even I don't collect, some of these. Like the Maplex Hush line is bar none my favorite subline of action figures right now. But I didn't get Hush because he's not one of those DC villains that's just big time, really well known. It's just the name of a story as far as I'm concerned. Anyway, here we are, starting this again, getting it ready to go. The good news is I have some stuff typed up in the Word document I was using to show how I focus, and then we'll also talk about how you guys focus. So we are in. We have people chatting. Spaded one, they mostly come out at night. Mostly. Okay, that's a line I feel like I should know. What's it from? Help me out. It feels like Gremlins, but I don't think that's right. And I have seen Gremlins. I am not that bad a nerd. I saw 16 seconds of you on the phone. Yeah, that's what it looked like. It looked like the last few seconds happened and then nothing. And that was the phone call. The mom had called and said, hey, is this stuff actually happening tonight? And I'm like, what do you mean? And then I looked up and there was a 0 on the eyeballs. It was like it just didn't start. So I might have hit something wrong on my end. In fact, I almost think that's what it's got to be. Generally, I've never had a problem like that with YouTube or StreamYard or anything, so I must have hit the wrong button somewhere. Oh, hi, Mark. I know that one. Oh, that's disturbing. How dare you bring the room into my conversation, my live stream. I've always been NECA TMNT, and while I'm still devoted to movie and tune, I'm dropping the rest. Other than that, it's Jada Street Fighter, and I've recently gone on a bender getting childhood fave Marvel characters. Nice. Now, childhood fave Marvel characters from childhood lines, or are you loading up on whatever lines come out with those characters? That was an Aliens reference. Oh! Well, I did make one call. I did say it sounds like Gremlins, but I don't think it's Gremlins. Clearly, I haven't seen. I'm telling you guys, I'm going to start a channel where I just watch the movies that I never watched when I should have watched them. This has been the week of legends for me. Got my Silver Surfer pre-order, got Astonishing Wolverine and Ghost Rider from the 85th line, and randomly stumbled onto Colossus and Juggernaut. Okay, I had that Colossus and Juggernaut 2-pack. That Juggernaut is awesome, and that Colossus was about the best figure they had done at the time. That's a great 2-pack. I gotta give that to them. All right, so let me present to you what I had, and then we can get into how you guys organize, what all you do. So this was stuff I had typed for about 8 minutes in the last live stream before things happened, but I was just talking about how I focus. And one of the big things, obviously the big thing for me, is I focus on toy photography, no pun intended. And you can see here that I put no waist cuts, with the exception being NECA TMNT. Now, that's not going to be all of NECA TMNT. We're talking the comic lines. And it's only really because the Mirage line has whatever's left of my cold, dead heart. But really, that's a sweet line. And the only reason they get away with it is because I love the Mirage stuff so much. And because NECA adds so many parts, so many accessories, so much paint, they really make it look worthwhile. Whereas other lines with waist cuts, they don't have that for me when it comes to the photography. And I've said many times, and in case anybody hasn't heard, when it comes to me, the reason I don't like waist cuts is because I want to take a picture of a figure at whatever angle I want to take the picture and have the figure look like it's moving naturally. So if I want to shoot a figure that's running from the top, then obviously their waist is going to have a little bit of a twist, like this. And so I don't want a flat spot exposed. I much prefer a ball peg waist. That's why waist cuts are generally bad. Extra hands and accessories when we're talking action figure photography, because hands give off a lot more expression that you can use with more hands. And accessories, generally, if a figure comes with all the accessories that make sense, they're perfect. Now, extra head, I would love as well. That's one of the reasons I think I like Mafex so much, is because you get tons of extra hands, you get the accessories, you tend to get extra heads, all that good stuff. So there I am focusing on toy photography. And another rule that I've had is don't get $100 army builders. Now, that's just a placeholder price even. The point was don't get expensive army builders. And then Mafex had to go and show off a Mafex Stormtrooper. And now I'm sitting here going, oh, no. Now, I will say, if you want great army builders, I think you're going to find them with toy photography in mind. And what I think of as great toy photography or great figures for toy photography in mind. Your mileage may vary, obviously. But I would say Action Force Army Builders are probably the best out there, just because they come with so many hands. They tend to have a second head. They have all kinds of weapons. They have knives, pistols, rifles most of the time. There's straps, there's vests. Sometimes there's a backpack, there's helmets. They're totally loaded. And because they've got those different hands, it's not just Army Builders that you've got just shooting things or doing one of these and all that. You can actually have your army builders kind of throwing punches and doing all kinds of other stuff and kind of just standing there, maybe being bored about something like this. I don't know. It makes it so you can take a lot more goofy pictures and a lot more serious pictures. So there you go. That's me chatting about ways that I have focused the collection. And I don't know, I'm sure I'll come up with other stuff as I go, things I've had in the past. But now let's talk about your guys. I know Spaded One, if we go here, go back to his comment. Let's see. Obviously, Spaded One's going for those older Marvel characters or those characters from his childhood, which is pretty cool. And then we head back here. We've got NECA TMNT, movie and tune. So see, Spaded One and I, we both like our NECA TMNT. We just operate in totally different spheres when it comes to the NECA TMNT. So let's see, dropping the rest. Other than that, it's Jada Street Fighter, which, gotta love Jada Street Fighter. I really would load up on all things Jada. I think they're doing incredible work. And like he said, like we talked about with the most recent one, he's gotten into getting, let's see, gone on a bender, getting childhood fave Marvel characters. So I think Spaded One's on a good track when it comes to kind of being like, okay, gotta focus this thing, gotta focus. It's a better track than I'm on, I think. I'll go on with you and we can chat about them. I do that with other YouTubers. Chat about the rules? That could be something we could try in the future here, Mr. Matson. That would be kind of entertaining. Where we can see if there's a way you know of to add you to the StreamYard tonight, because that's something I've been putzing around idea-wise as well, is movies. Got it. But something I've been putzing around with as well is making it so you guys can come on here and everybody can come on, join up. Maybe one night we have the good Mr. Matson on, one night we have Spaded One, whomever, all the guys, Eric can show, you know, like all the people that usually stop by, just hang out, we can chat, keep it entertaining for people, because after a while, this voice starts to hate me a little bit. Hello, Mr. Elliman, by the way. Let's see. Speaking of army builders, Best Buy has the Last Ronin Sinja bots for Oh no. And here I was just talking about comic. Mirage has my heart, but $20 for Sinjas? That's insane. Folks, here you go. If you've been looking for Sinja bots, go. That's awesome. Thank you, sir. I appreciate it. See, I have to create some guidelines for sure. Yeah, Eric, this was me just trying, like, and the whole crux of it was seeing everything that came out from SDCC and me going, man, that looks cool. Thinking, should I start another line? Should I not? Like, for instance, I was not the real Ghostbusters guy that a lot of people seem to have been, so I wouldn't even bother getting into Mondo's real Ghostbusters line. But I am curious about what they're going to do with their He-Man figure. So, you know, Eric, you and I can talk Motu on that kind of thing. But yeah, that's I'm curious enough where I'd like to just dip my toe, but I know me and I know the collector mentality. Once you dip your toe, you might fall down a rabbit hole that, well, those two analogies didn't really work so much. Let's see, figures of speech, not necessarily analogies. You dip your toe. You can't really dip your toe into a rabbit hole unless the rabbit hole is full of water, at which point those poor bunnies. But anywho, you get the idea. Once you decide to try a line, if you really like it, you're like, oh no, I need more. Ooh. All right. There's an invite button. You can send a link to a social media account DM. Sweet. Yep, I figured I could do that. I've actually, so everybody knows, I'm on a live stream tonight on the Fat DeLorean's YouTube channel. So actually, I've got that called up here real quick. Oops, almost hit leave studio instead of stop screen. That would have been totally my bad. Now let me pop up just their page so you can see, that's my page. What have I done? All right. I'm kidding. I swear, I know what I'm doing. Actually, that happened. I had their page called up, and the reason I didn't stay there was because I was trying to figure out all my stuff after the live stream went down. Okay, here we go. So coming up this fine evening, here it is at 9 p.m. We have me partying with these guys. What it's going to be is kind of Judgment Day. They've been working on customs, and so I'm going to get on there, and it sounds like we're just going to have some fun with the customs that they've made. And they're always very cool because I don't speak Spanish. So they're going to be very good and make sure and kind of walk me through what needs to be walked through. And they all speak much better English than I do Spanish anyway. So if you guys want to check it out, That's happening tonight, pretty much after this one. So let's get out of there. And then I'll go back to the rules. Because I'm such a rules guy. That's what kills me. I'm not even a rules guy. I'm one of those people that's like, rules are made for the other people. But I kind of need rules when it comes to this. All right. I can't come on tonight, but we can maybe arrange a time. Cool beans, Mr. Matson. I'll work on some stuff. I actually want to get the Fat DeLoreans on here too, but the time difference is so big. Sometimes it's tricky, but we'll see what we can do. Great deal. Yeah. Those cinches. Go, go, go. I kind of look at every nostalgia-driven line like a potential rabbit hole. These lines are getting crazy deep now, and you can spend $200 to $500 a month on things like G.I. Joe. Great line, but super deep. I know, man. And you're talking just G.I. Joe. Like right now, you've got figures coming out. You've got a Rattler for, what's the price? $325. And you're going to get those patches now. The patches made it. I don't know if they hit the second tier yet, but you're going to get a Rattler with Wild Weasel and patches to put on your plane? No, that can't be right. Anyway, yeah, you're not kidding. And that's like you're saying there, that's just G.I. Joe. Like I was trying to come up with something for me that could be fairly not crazy, but just seems insane. Like I was like, okay, maybe I get 2 NECA figures a month. Maybe I get 2 Action Force figures a month. And maybe I get 2 Mafex figures a month. And then just pick up a Jada figure when it comes out. And you start looking at that. Mafex figures I can generally get for around $80 shipped if I order from online stores. So there's $160. Your NECA figures are basically $35 to $40. We'll say $37.50 just to be, just to make things round for us there. That's going to be $75. So we're now at $160 and $75. That's $235. 2 Action Force. If you order it from Valaverse, there's going to be $8 shipping, but the figures are about $30. So we'll round that up to $70. Now we're looking at $305 basically. And then anything that Jada puts out, you're looking at probably another $25 a month. So you're looking at $330 a month if you're trying to keep your spending not insane. And it gets crazy. That's why I'm saying, like, I've got to find a way to focus this stuff. That's right. I did all that math on the fly. Never thought about that at all. Exactly. How hard is it to decide what to collect after those SDCC reveals? Such a pain. And that's why it's so tough to decide, hey, I'm going to just get into a test drive. Jahir, what's up, man? I just watched Deadpool 3, best movie of 2024. Man, I had such a blast. That was one of those movies that was just pure fun, and I loved every second of it. I will say there didn't seem to be much of a plot, but that's what I'm saying. When I talk about movies, I'm kind of like, the plot should be pretty airtight. But if you don't have an airtight plot, at least make people love the characters. And people went into this movie already loving those characters. It was perfect. Right. Talk about a slippery slope. That's the thing, man. Rabbit holes, slippery slopes. It gets crazy. It's excellent. Bogus. What's up, sir? Holy crap, I forgot about this live stream. Egad, man, why? Why? And I said crap to keep it PG. Haha, I don't know why. I do know why. YouTube likes the PG. Also, I would put this on the list. Get a cheaper alternative of the figure if you want to save budget, like you say in Marvel Legend, over the SHF version. See, and that makes sense, especially if you're a collector and I know people, at least I've tried to make it so the people checking this stuff out are generally going to be into the photography aspect of all this stuff. But if you're not somebody that's way into the photography aspect, it makes total sense to load your shelves up. Like you just want all kinds of really cool characters displayed. It makes absolute sense to load up on some Marvel Legends, on some Black Series, and put those things on your shelves so they can represent all the stuff that you really dig. For sure. That makes all the sense in the world. Me, I would probably most of the time take the SHF over the Marvel Legend. But what that does also is, like I've talked about in the past, how if you're into Marvel Legends, you get a $25 figure here, you get a $25 figure there, 25 here, 25 here, 40 here. And it never feels like it's the hit that maybe a Mafex figure is. So you get a Mafex figure and you're like, okay, I got to slow down on the budget a little bit. But when they're only $25 figures, they sneak up on you. So sometimes that gets a little tricky too. So that's another reason I might prefer getting like the SHF over the Mafex version, is just it actually keeps me so I'm a little more budget conscious, and for the toy photography. Aside from that, I totally agree. Being a hardcore TMNT collector is basically being connected to a milking machine. There's so much stuff from so many companies and it all looks great. I know, that's what gets tough. That's why it's crazy good that you're kind of like, you know what? I'm sticking with tune and movie. Because what are they doing right now? The movies are about set now. Once Tatsu was shown, you realize, okay, there's probably not going to be tons coming out from the movie anymore. And now with the tune, they're just basically loading up like Panda Khan, the Panda Khan figure that was shown at SDCC. That thing's amazing for sure, but he was never in the cartoon, but that's where they're at. They're trying to make figures look like they would have been in the cartoon. So that line's deep enough where there's probably not going to be, I almost shouldn't say this because it's NECA, but there's probably not going to be just tons of stuff added in, So yeah, but you're not kidding. Every turtle thing that pops up looks cool. But yeah, I think you've chosen the safe road. At least now it's safe. Before it was a long road and tough. And stay to a specific scale, like 5 to 6 inch, with bigger figures being more of an occasional thing. Now that I'm totally behind, Mirage. In fact, I'm going to type that in because that is one of my deals. I'm going to say, for me, I keep it at 1/12 scale. Of course, with the exception being NECA. Now, that said, while I type exception NECA TMNT, if I look, let's see here. Here is, oh, shoot. Well, I just made a rookie. Well, there it is. Never mind. We're good. I thought I made the rookie mistake of dropping Kirby, and I had his pencil in his hand, and I figured I'm never going to find that again. But that said, let's see if, let me know if you guys can see this comparison once I finally make it. This turtle line that I have seems to be pretty close to 1/12 scale. So hang on, let me make sure I can see what I'm doing. There is Batman and Kirby. So, and they're pretty much right sized correctly. Their feet are at the same level. So I think the turtle line, the Mirage line anyway, is pretty close to 1/12 scale. But yes, I love that. That's why I typed it in. Thank you, sir. I appreciate it. Mr. Element, my two lines that I've been all in for years are Motu Origins and SHF Dragon Ball. I'll grab Mafex figures probably too often than I should, and started getting Jada Street Fighter, including exclusives. Man, yeah, but Jada Street Fighter's okay. That seems to be one of those things that can totally be an exception, and everybody's cool with it. I think. I don't know. Just because I dig them so much. But Origins, yeah, especially when we were kids, if you guys are closer to my age, and I think some of us, most of you probably are, but to have those figures and now be able to articulate them like we wanted to way back when. That is very cool. Dragon Ball, I still got to figure out a perfect Goku. I'm sure you guys will help me with that. I think it might have been you, Eric, that was telling me to wait till the third body or whatever, like a newer body for Goku, and then think about getting that one. But yeah, I mean, I like that you've gotten it down to 2 lines basically, and then the Jada. So 3 lines with the occasional Mafex. That's probably great. Like I'm probably looking at, what do we have? Mafex, but not all the lines, just the comic lines until I decide to go nuts and get all the Mafex. NECA, Mirage Turtles, Action Force, and Jada. Like, but Jada, period. Not just Jada Street Fighter. I'm sick in the head like that. Hard to test drive the Mondo Real Ghostbusters at $100 a figure. Yeah, I know. I am lucky that I'm not a real Ghostbusters fan. Otherwise, I would have been pretty ticked about that. Good point about scale. A big part of what makes Jada Street Fighter so great is how well they mesh with Legends. Another 6-inch scale. Interplayability. Absolutely. And June had said that they specifically designed the Street Fighter line so it could go with Legends. Just for, your Marvel versus Capcom. I think Kotobukiya is going to get, let's see, some of my money now, even though I am still more of a Bandai guy. I just finished the Formers Megalomaria, yeah, that's right, Megalomaria Principal Kit, and it is excellent, especially in posing. Man, how tough was that? Was it a tough model to build? I've gotten my niece some 30-minute sisters, so I would assume it's tougher than those, but if it's not too tough, yeah, he died a hero. He from murder. That's fair. That's fair. Oh, God. He's going to do this till he's 90. Unpopular opinion. It is understandable if you want to stick to Marvel Legends for budget reasons, but if that is all what you collect, then you would need more variety. Honestly, yeah, but I think if you're a diehard Marvel Legends person, right? Because I did the math, and honestly, if I were to buy every Mafex figure that's released in a year, and I were to buy every Marvel Legends figure that were released in a year, I would spend more on Marvel Legends. Now, chances are, I think most people, at least I get the sense that a lot of people are into comic or movie. Some people are going to get both, but I was always more just the comic stuff. So yeah, Marvel Legends is per figure, they're cheaper, but as a line, they're more expensive. But still, if Marvel Legends is all you get, I think it's not a bad call to stick with Marvel Legends if you're a completionist. If you're not, then yeah, I think variety is a good thing. Catching up with the chat. Tatsu is already out. I've had him for about a week. Absolutely great looking $35 fig. He does look cool. He does look cool. So you're done. Although somebody noticed, it was a Mad Hatter thing that I saw. Somebody noticed there's a Casey Jones that's hidden in that group of foot soldiers. Like Casey Jones as a foot soldier. So you've at least got to get one more. And then I imagine once you get that Casey Jones, now you just go to eBay and track down a bunch of foot soldiers. Making it up as I go along. To be frank, even Marvel Legends inches closer towards 1/10, barely. They're getting there. They're starting to scale up there a little bit. Mafex is actually closer to probably 1/11th than 1/12th right now. I'm basically the same way, selling my NECA D&D collection, and then all my non-112 figs are all NECA TMNT. The Flashback Last Ronin Bros are smaller and actually scaled decent with Legends. That's nice. The Flashback, though, oh, yeah, never mind. I was thinking the Spirit ones, because I was like, wait, those aren't out yet. But yeah, The flashback ones, and the flashback ones, I consider those, they were later stage mutations, so they would be a little bit bigger anyway. And I don't think those figures are much bigger. I tried holding that Raphael that I have. Things are buried. My desk is a mess, guys, if you were to see it. But yeah, I think you're right. I think those scale really well. Did you know that Ryan Reynolds' actual wife played Lady Deadpool? Actually, I did, because I looked it up. Because I haven't seen much with Blake Lively in it. I didn't even know what she sounded like. So I had to look it up. But I knew that was the rumor for quite a while. Oh, Mr. Madsen voiced. She wasn't in the suit. Oh, dear. Okay, then, I hate when I think I know something and then I find out I didn't know anything. It makes me sad. Yes, might as well wait for the updated Goku body. They made a 3.0 Gohan recently, so it's only time. Excellent, excellent. I cannot wait. I do agree, Jahir. It is still pretty cool. Of course. Mr. Element, my problem is the Mayfex stuff is so good. I just received Michael Jordan today. So cool with the extra shoes and all the hands and extra face. The Mayfex DC and Marvel comic book lines are also gems. Man, I'm trying. So all of the Mayfex is a dream that I have. I honestly want to create like the ultimate Mayfex action figure webpage. Like, I think it would be a blast with a ton of pictures of all the figures. So when I hear that, I'm like, I need Michael Jordan. I don't have Michael Jordan yet. Michael Jordan would be cool to have. Why? But yeah, their DC and Marvel comic stuff is so good. And I think their movie stuff looks really good too. I'm just not into that, but I'll have to have them if I get all the Mayfex eventually. It wasn't tough, but the parts can be rather small. Let's see, and sanding them can be a pain. These Kotobukiya kits take longer standing time, but it is all worth it. I'm assuming you went with you meant sanding time there. Yeah, because they always look good. I've seen a lot of Kotobukiya kits, but I appreciate you letting me know. I figured they'd take a little longer. I didn't figure it would be because of the sanding, however. And I see you corrected it to sanding, so thank you, sir. And then I buy Transformers. Oh man, I'm crazy. The new Optimus Prime figures from Hasbro and Yolo Park are incredible. And see, that's what I'm talking about. Like, the Yolo Park Prime looks amazing. And at first I was a little hard on the Hasbro, like the Commander class Prime that's coming out, or is he Leader class? The one that's the total G1 movie Optimus Prime, the Studio Series one that's coming out. I was a little tough on him, but after looking at it, I honestly think it was the product photos. I think that they were really flat. They didn't show a lot of dimension. And so it had kind of almost a chalky look, I guess, in the photos instead of really showing the dimensions going on with the figure. I will say, I do think, and I don't generally think this way, but I do think the glare on the windows, had they painted some white stripes or something on there, I think it would have looked just 10 times cooler. I think that would have made it a whole lot better. But yes, your point is well taken. There's so much cool. And I do love me some Transformers. Brad Pitt, Nathan Fillion, and Matthew McConaughey are also in it. I saw, what was it? I saw the Brad Pitt thing. I saw Brad Pitt's name in the credits, and I thought, where was he? Now, I found out later that Matthew McConaughey was Cowboy Deadpool. I don't remember who Nathan Fillion was, which one he was. Yeah. But yeah, they had so many, like, it's crazy, the people that Ryan Reynolds can get. Well, Ryan Reynolds owns a lot of things now. He's not just an actor. So he can probably just say, hey, I'm going to throw some money at you. Want to be in Deadpool? on that Deadpool and Wolverine came out and they didn't even announce the figures for it till afterwards. Man, yeah. Yeah. I think we need to go back to the old days if we want the action figure industry to be a little more successful. And by the old days, I mean, okay, you might get a spoiler in a toy. That's okay. Make the toys so they come out when the movie's released. Otherwise, they just aren't going to do as well. That would have cleared our pegs of a whole lot of Eternals. Maybe not with the Eternals. Also, to add to the list, I think it is better to focus on something specific, like say someone focus on Figma, for example, but it depends on budget. And that's something too. Like if you could focus on one line, that would probably be perfect. Let me put maybe what I can add there. Let's see. Let's say focus on a specific number of lines. Oops. Still not used to laptops, apparently. So like if we say, I think the winner in any kind of focusing the collection chat is the person that can focus on just one action figure line. And maybe even a greater winner than that is the person that can focus on one character. Because, like, even if you decided that you're just going to get the turtles from all the turtle lines out there, there's turtles coming out all the time. So, like, if you decided, wait, I'm not going to focus on all the turtles, I'm just going to focus on Michelangelo. Now, of course, the problem with that is nobody can buy just one turtle. If you get one turtle, you're going to end up with 4 turtles. So, anyway, the winner is the person that can focus on a specific number of lines, or I will type this, specific number of characters, which from what it sounds like, that's kind of where McFarlane's head's at, is for him, it's about designing figures that are just cool and stand on their own. And if you're a Batman fan, you'll get all these Batmans, that kind of thing. I am not that winner that can just focus on one line. God, I wish I were. Heck, even Ryan Reynolds mentioned Gossip Girl, which was a movie that his wife was in. Was Gossip Girl a movie? I knew it was a series, but I never saw it. And that's not just a man card thing. I've seen plenty of things that would get my man card revoked, but I never saw Gossip Girl. Kind of silly that Deadpool and Wolverine came out. Oh, how did I? Let's see, those legends look amazing. Yep. Michael Jordan Mayfec's away jersey is coming out soon. And yes, Mayfec's is so good, even the movie versions. I know. That's what I'm saying. Like, if I'm going to get movie versions, they're going to be Mayfec's. And yeah, I did see that the Michael Jordan away jersey was coming too. I prefer the red, I got to say. See, Nathan is Headpool. Oh, I didn't know that. That's sweet. That's perfect. Oh, dear. Harry, all you have to do is get married. The wife will help you regulate your collecting. Oh, man. I am sure that's true. Maybe that's the secret, guys. Maybe that's how you stick to one line. And that one line is really cheap, like Mega Man. Like, you're allowed to collect the Mega Man Jada line. If you want to get the collectibles, you can have Mega Man. Dogpool is the best Deadpool. Dogpool cracked me up. Like, it was almost disturbing how much Deadpool and Dogpool ended up just loving each other right away. But it wasn't disturbing how Nice Pool got, all that stuff happened. I will die on this hill. You pick a different hill, man. I mean, I'm with you. Dogpool was very cool, but there's got to be a better hill. Yeah, I'm usually going after favorite characters a lot. Got a Figma Link from Legend of Zelda, and we'll definitely get Batman Adam West from McFarlane. Nice. I do think that Adam West Batman looks good. I love that he comes with the hands for the dancing. That cracks me up. What makes me sadder is the pig. Let's see, the dog that plays Deadpool. Dogpool. Yep, I did see that actually. Ugliest dog in the UK. Yeah, it happens. Dude, the movie Colossus Pinless. Gods be praised. That Colossus looks good. You know what? I was looking at it. I'm like, he's got an extra head. He's got extra hands. He's got the book. So he's got, like, as far as accessories are concerned, he's covered all the bases. He's got that waist cut. And I was like, maybe. But the belt, if the belt were loose and were a little higher, and I know that's not the movie look, so maybe what they would have had to do is lower the waist cut, and it hid the waist cut, that Colossus looks really good. And that's something else that I want to bring up about waist cuts. It's not that I'm totally against waist cuts. I mean, I am generally, but if a belt or something hides the waist cut, like I'm still considering whether or not, or thinking about whether or not I should get the latest Marvel Legends cable, because it looks like that belt hides that waist cut really well. So it's a little bit about that too. Pushing the buttons. Also, RDJ is Doctor Doom. Yeah, I'm not sure. I hope it's a bait and switch. I hope he's not actually Doctor Doom. It's like an armadillo with a gremlin angrily. I haven't memorized the lines just yet. Poor Dogpool. Let's see. His book has printed text. The first 2 rules. I'm going to have to look those lines up again. Or that book up again, I guess. Gotta go. Have fun, everyone. You too, Eric. Thanks for stopping by, man. Especially considering it was a later stream. All right. So right now, hey, I've caught up. Go me. So right now, at least for me, what I talked about were these. Now, focus on a specific number of lines. I think that's something. I think everybody can get behind most of these. Now, because my focus is on toy photography, this is going to be just an extra little thing that maybe the rest of you guys don't necessarily worry about when it comes to like waist cuts, extra hands, accessories, all that. But I think the general collector can probably get behind these, or at least the idea of them. Like, don't get the $100 army builders, and you don't even have to have the exception. But focusing on a specific scale, like obviously I focus on 1/12, but there's 1/10 out there. There's Hot Toys. There's all kinds of different scales. So if you're able to focus on one scale, that at least helps you out quite a bit. One thing that kind of hurts, though, is when you focus on 1/12 scale, basically everything's being made in 1/12 scale. So that's a good focus. But yeah, I guess it helps a bit because quite a bit's 1/10 too. And then focusing on a specific number of lines or a specific number of characters, I think is a fantastic way to go about focusing. Like I said, I think the winner focuses on one line, or one character is even better. Does anybody have any other general rules that you think, or general ways to focus? Let's not call them rules, because like I said, rules are for the other people. For us, we're just talking focusing guidelines. Yes, these are guidelines. So what other general guidelines do you maybe have that you think would help out a lot of people when it comes to focusing their collection? And yes, I realize that I said focusing, and it seems like, I went with a camera pun. Let's see. Also, back. I also am not down with RDJ as Doom. I'd rather that character get to stand on his own as an Avenger level threat before they do the whole evil Iron Man angle. I know. You know, what makes me nervous about him being Doom is you want a real Doctor Doom. I'm over the multiverse. I know a lot of people are okay with it. I personally am done with it. I want to see the 616. Sadly, that is what they're calling the MCU. I want to see the 616 Doctor Doom. I don't want the alternate reality or the multiversal Doctor Doom. I don't want it. I don't want it. Hopefully, what they do is something absolutely brilliant, because they had to know this would be a big talking point. So my hope is that it really is some kind of switch, that it's not going to be evil Tony Stark or this or that. It's going to be something different. Like maybe it ends up being Iron Man faking everybody out as Doctor Doom, but then why would he be in Avengers 5 and 6? I don't know. It seems to me that could cheapen, or that does cheapen Iron Man, but I've been wrong in the past when it comes to this stuff. So hopefully the writers and the directors, Feige, everybody has this figured out. I am really stoked that the Russo brothers are back. It feels like that's a good move. And they're back because Robert Downey Jr. basically said, if I'm coming back, they're coming back, which was cool on his part. Have you talked about Batman Caped Crusader? I totally forgot that came out today. So no. How was it, Harry? Because I do plan on checking it out. Kotobukiya kits are cool. I have quite a few, but they are really flimsy. That's all right, maybe. So okay, Toy Odyssey. If you get a Kotobukiya kit, are you saying that probably what you want to do with them is put them together and just let them stay on the shelf? Or can you pull them down and mess with them quite a bit? Because I will say those 30-minute sisters are kind of fiddly as well. Kind of flimsy. That Thundercats Mattel news is, let's see, heard all the time. Is the what? Hang on. All right, help me out there, Toy Odyssey. That Thundercats Mattel news is heard all the time. I don't know. Help me out. I will say, if you're trying to say that the Thundercats Mattel news is awesome, I think a lot of Mattel fans would agree. And I love that it's trying to keep, it seems that they're finding new ways to keep Motu relevant by bringing in other properties. And then maybe they just release the ultimate Motu line. That'd be kind of cool. I think you can also add priority on articulation on photography, because the more posability, the more you can do with the figure. That is absolutely true. And the fact that I didn't put that in there kind of makes me sad. Because, yeah, it needs double jointed knees. They have to have double jointed, well, maybe they don't need double jointed knees, but they do need double jointed elbows. So ideally, like, they don't need toe, but man, Mafex makes toe work well, and all that. So it's tough. It's tough because it's hard to sit there and come up with absolute rules on articulation, because before I would have said butterfly joints are absolutely necessary. But I did a butterfly joint comparison test between some of the female characters I have, some of the figures, and those with and those without butterfly joints all basically stuck their arms out straight ahead of them. So I don't know that butterfly joints, the way they're constructed currently, are really necessary. So coming up with rules on what to have articulated, I don't know. But I do think double elbows for sure. And I'm getting to the point, I'm turning into a bit of an Anthony's Custom snob for the ball jointed, like the dumbbell necks, where you've got one ball in the neck, then one ball that goes up into the head. Because if done right, I mean, that's what Mafex does. And if done right, you get every little bit of movement you need. If done wrong, you have to cut a little slit in the back of a character's neck to make it move right. To be honest, I just don't want Iron Man to come back and RDJ to be Doctor Doom. They might end up doing something good, but whatever. That's where I'm at. That's where I'm at. It does make me nervous. I hope they come up with something cool. Woo, so good. I can't wait. I'm going to check that out. I might check out an episode tonight. Well, no, because like I said earlier in the stream, guys, I have a live stream at 9. So I'll have to check it out maybe some tomorrow. We'll see. I do have the weekend. The weekend would be a good time. In my experience, mine isn't flimsy yet, but the older kits are known to be rather flimsy, although you can tighten the joints with some super glue before putting the parts back on. Okay, okay. That's a lot of work. Why you gotta work so hard for my figures? Doctor Doom is such an important character to the entire Marvel Universe. It would be a shame if they went with a variant played by an existing character. Multiverse stuff is whack. I 100% agree with all of that. Like, I want the 616 Doom to be introduced, but if they're going to do Doom with RDJ, I kind of don't want it introduced. But then after the multiverse goes down, if RDJ is Doctor Doom, then bringing in another Doctor Doom would end up being confusing to people maybe that aren't so into the comics. I don't know, but I also feel like the multiverse itself is crazy confusing to people that aren't into the comics. So, man, I don't know. I'm hoping that they've got some kind of insanely cool story point that makes it all work out. Also, looking, let's see, that new Doctor Doom behind a 3-pack was nasty work. Yep, blocking it. Yeah, I totally agree, especially with that cloth goods cape. That Doctor Doom on his own, I might have picked up. Although sometimes, like, I go back and forth on the Mezco Doom. He looks really good, but he also doesn't move well, but he's also wearing a lot of armor. So I don't know. I mean, that Hasbro Doom would have been pretty perfect. Although he might still need a wired cape. I built the Moto King Iron Spider. Great build, but material is lighter. Still getting the 112 tumbler. Ooh, thank you, Ghost Tab. I appreciate you letting me know. Great build, but material's lighter, huh? All right. That's all right. Hopefully, with a vehicle, they know to make it a little stronger. We shall see. Let's see. Disney is panicking, and since they can't come up with good stories or characters, they're going to throw RDJ and money at it. And that makes total sense. I mean, I get why they would throw RDJ at it, honestly, so they can get people to check out the movies again, for sure. I just hope they come up with a great story reason that doesn't cheapen Iron Man's death and somehow allows Doctor Doom to make sense for the 616. I don't know. Like, it feels like a stunt move, which will get plenty of people to see that movie or those movies. But then after that, what happens? You know, like there's an idea in branding where basically you don't want to, like, it's okay to do something that's going to bring in quite a bit of money as long as it's not going to hurt the brand down the road. And I'm afraid this might end up hurting the brand, because what it'll do is either they'll bring in another Doctor Doom, which will confuse people, or they just won't have the real 616 Doctor Doom in anything at all, which will tick off a lot of people. Or, and my best hope here, is RDJ isn't actually coming in as Doom. I would much prefer he came back as like an AI for Riri or something, you know? I mean, it makes sense. I totally agree with you, but it's short-sighted, at least until I see the story. Right now, it feels short-sighted. Comics had a story of Doctor Doom and Iron Man switching bodies. Yeah, I know that. I know. So maybe that's how they do it, is they bring in like another Iron Man out there in the multiverse, is totally evil, totally Doctor Doom. I don't know. I don't know. I mean, I'd be okay with it. I need something less multiverse and more 616 to start happening. Model kits for you. I know, so much super glue, all the things I'd have to do to tighten up joints. Okay, the end of the story. RDJ Doom has, let's see. We'll check in a sec, Harry. We'll get to it. Part of Doom is his European chagrin. I hope it's a variation. We shall see. At least maybe, just maybe, there will be a decent MCU Doctor Doom Marvel Legends figure. So that's a good thing. That's true. Maybe their next Doctor Doom, they started with a cloth goods cape. Now they'll come out with one with a wired cape. At that point, I'll be like, nope, settled. We're getting the Legends Doom instead of, well, if it's a comic Doom. At the end of the movie, RDJ Doom has the Fantastic Four on the ropes. Then the 616 Doom painfully kills RDJ Doom and lets the FF go with a threat for the future. Huh. I mean, maybe that could work. We'll see. It's going to be all build up. We'll see how it works out. They're not going to have a great story reason. Tony Stark is going to be a dictator in the Fantastic Four, and he's going to use their technology to hop dimensions to 616. Fantastic Four will follow him. We'll see. I heard something today. I was watching or listening to the John Campea show, and the rumor has it that Doctor Doom is only in like a post-credit scene in Fantastic Four. So maybe I don't think he's what's going to make him do things in the movie, but we'll see. I don't know. I mean, he's got to be in the next ones. I remember some Japanese people couldn't take Dr. Doom's reveal seriously because all they think is their dub of the old Fantastic Four cartoon with Dr. Doom speaking in quite the accent. That would suck. You're watching that, and Dr. Doom is he's supposed to be this really evil, vile villain that just does his thing. I mean, he's really not evil. He's evil to most of the world, but he's good to his people of Latveria. But yeah, I can see, like, in theaters in Japan, the first time RDJ comes on, there's first going to be, why is Iron Man Dr. Doom? And then there's just going to be laughter, even though he won't have that accent. It'll be quality. Maybe what I need to do is watch Fantastic Four in a Japanese theater. Anybody want to get me a ticket to Tokyo? What's next? Michael Fassbender is Mr. Sinister? Wait, that would actually work. And see, I don't know that I'd have as much of a problem with that. It's just that Tony Stark was such a huge part of the MCU that bringing him back at all in another huge part just feels wrong. Like I said, I think an AI part for him would be perfect. He had downloaded his subconscious into something, and we're now basically talking to Tony Stark, but it's an AI version. That would have been perfect. I don't know. We'll have to see how it plays out. I think he was also renamed to Dr. Evil or Dr. Devil in the dub too. Ooh, Dr. Evil. So he could be Mike Myers. He should be Mike Myers because really, Dr. Devil, he's just the wrong color. Big green cape. He speaks like that one uncle in the JP dub. That one uncle. Oh dear. By the way, I've been trying to watch, Cyberpunk Edge Runner. So once in a while, I'll have 20 minutes like I'm eating or whatever, throw that on. That's a crazy show. The JP dub was basically a huge joke. The whole show is even renamed to Space Ninjas something. Well, I guess I could see that with the Fantastic Four wearing kind of bodysuit, pajama type things. Whew. All right. So don't forget, folks, and don't worry, stream's not over yet. I still want to see if we've got any more general rules for collecting that people can come up with. But I'm going to be on another live stream with the Fat DeLoreans at 9 p.m. So I am going to end this one shortly. Not yet, but let me show you again real quick. Their logo, it is the Fat DeLoreans. Just change man with fat, and you've got it figured out. And they're going over some customs that they put together. You can see the little red lens thingy there. That's me. But that's happening tonight at 9 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. So roughly half an hour from now, I will be over there. So be sure to head over. Don't worry, they'll speak fine English and everything else because I need them to. I'm terrible at Spanish, but they're a cool bunch of guys. So if you're just sitting on the YouTube and wondering what's going on this fine evening, that's what's going on this fine evening, at least as far as I'm concerned. In the meantime, I'll be watching Deadpool and Wolverine around 5 p.m. That's going to be fun. Have you seen it yet? Because I think universally, I think people have just come around to this movie's a blast and it is not to be missed. We'll put back on that list there just in case. And I'll try and think of something here. Again, if you're focusing on toy photography like I am, no waist cuts. The figure's got to come with extra hands and accessories, and there needs to be good articulation. And I don't know how to define that. I will say a ball peg waist, diaphragm, like diaphragm joint and everything, because that combo just works really well. Double jointed elbows, decent range at the hips. So 90 degrees is nice, but sometimes you're going to get a huge figure that's just not going to get that 90 degrees. So I'm trying to come up with articulation rules. Like I said earlier, the butterfly joints don't seem all that practical. So until somebody makes them in a different way, I just don't know that they're necessary. So we'll see. We'll see what goes on when you're focusing on toy photography. Now, another thing that I think is a good reminder to people is just don't get really expensive army builders. I know I put the $100 there. That's just kind of a placeholder price. Now, just because I say my exception is Mafex doesn't mean you need to have that exception. Like I'm sitting here looking at $80 Stormtroopers from Mafex when you can get $25 Stormtroopers from Hasbro. My only problem with those is they're not going to come with extra hands and whatever else, you know? So that's why I'm looking at it like, well, a Mafex snob, obviously. You don't have to do that. And any other army builder, I wouldn't do that either. Then picking a scale. Like obviously I have 1/12 scale. You don't need to have 1/12 scale, but if you can pick a scale, that's going to help you a lot with your collecting. I know a lot of people will say, well, you know, I like this character, I like this, or I like all the figures that are like this. And so I'm going to get the hot toy, I'm going to get the 1/10, I'm going to get the 1/12, I might even get the 1/18. And if you're into one character, that's absolutely amazing. But if you're into a ton of characters and you do it that way, that's going to get rough in a hurry, depending on space and money issues. And then being able to focus on a specific number of lines or a specific number of characters we have here as well. That's where I fail because I'll look at something and say, I want to try that out. And then I'll realize, oh crap, I kind of want to try the rest of them out too. But I don't think that's me on my own. I think that's collectors in general. So I think we've got a pretty good set of guidelines here because again, rules are for the other people, they're not for us. So yeah, anything else anybody can think of in the chat? I got spoiled though, but I didn't mind. Nothing wrong with that. when it comes to Deadpool and Wolverine, I assume. What did I hear that I didn't want to hear? I had heard, well, you know what? I won't say anything yet. We'll talk about Deadpool and Wolverine next week. Hopefully, people will have seen it by then, and I'll make sure and fire off some spoiler stuff so people know to stop listening. Deadpool and Wolverine is great. All my complaints are overridden by pure entertainment. Exactly. And that's where I was. That's where I am with it. The characters are a blast. It was just a fun movie. Oh my God, I didn't mention this, but what about dioramas? Like, what kind of dio, the budget, etc. Man, you know, I'm sitting here talking about figures. You bring up a great point. What about like all the accessory packs? Like Valaverse has a ton of accessory packs, or all the dios that you can spend. Truly, you can spend as much as you want on dios. If you go on something like eBay or Etsy, you're going to get a good dio for around $400 or $500. And I think I even saw one that was a Millennium Falcon interior that was like $2,000 or something. Like you could spend a ton of money on dios. But not only that, for me, I need to get better equipment for my photography. So now you're looking at that. So not only, at least for me, am I splitting up trying to figure out what to focus the actual collection on, but now you're looking at what kind of accessories should I buy? Should I buy just weapons? Should I load up on stuff to make the environment look more real? So maybe some little pallets and bricks and backdrops and sceneries. And then what about dios? What should I do about that? You know, there's so many things. And then beyond that, now how about the photo equipment? Good Lord, I basically just need billions of dollars and then I can do it all. But that's a great point. We might have to talk about that next time. I forgot Mafex has army builders. They don't have too many. Like they had a lot in the early days, but right now, all they've really solicited army builder wise for the last several years, I think, honestly, is that one stormtrooper. God, I want that stormtrooper. I'm sick in the head though. The Amazon Batman series is not good. That's why WB refused to put it on Max. Oh, no. All right, that's it. Definitely going to have to check out at least one episode. So you're saying Bruce Timm, it's game over now. Did Paul Dini have anything to do with that one? I suggest everyone give making a small dio a shot. It's a fun little adjacent hobby, and it's not hard at all to get something you can be happy with. You know, I bought stuff to make a dio a couple years ago, and I still haven't done it. That might be a fun video to kind of make is, okay, this is about photography because we need a setting for your figures to be in. So I'm going to show you how I put this diorama together. And it might be something where I do in steps. Just say, okay, guys, I first cut the foam, and here's what I did to do that. And then I did this, and then that, and so and so. I won't tell you what the dio was going to be, but I will say this. I have yet to see this kind of dio in 1/12 scale. Don't worry, it's nothing crazy action-oriented. It would be more for comedic effect. But that would be cool. And that should be something. Maybe we could all do that. Everybody sit down and put together a dio, and we find a way to just showcase those. We could have a dio week on Toy Picks. So everybody puts dios together, and then we just all, like, I invite you guys on one at a time, and everybody gets to show off their dio. That would be fun. That would be cool. Spaded one. I like it. Whoops. Got ahead of myself. Mr. Spencer, sorry I'm late. Was at the movies. That's okay. I didn't get started till 7:30 anyway. What did you go see? I made all the stuff in my profile pic with some cheap foam and trash lying around. Super easy. That's awesome. How long did it take you? My Jada SDCC Chun-Li just shipped. Nice. She's going to be so cool. I can't wait to see the people start to put that head on the one that came with like the player one head. that came with the pink Chun-Li. I can't wait to see that player one head on the player one Chun-Li. Good Lord, me and speaking is getting tricky. That'll be cool. By the way, I have a question for anybody watching that ordered the turtles, like the first turtles from NECA that got in on ordering those before the show was actually up. I got them on the third day. I was super stoked. I haven't gotten my shipping notice yet. Has anyone else? Like, I got the general email that said, we're going to start shipping all the things, so just wait for your individual email. I haven't gotten that yet, but I'm just curious if I'm the last one or if others haven't either. Cool idea. Sweet. That could be like we set up a time and we say, okay, in a month or in 2 months or however long we need. Deadpool and Wolverine. Good man, Mr. Spencer. No spoilers yet. I told these guys we'll talk a little bit about that maybe next week, but just tell us, did you like it? Spaded one. Honestly, I could bang that out in a day. The only thing that requires any focus is cutting out and making the bench. Oh, nice. That'd be sweet. Maybe that's it. Maybe everybody comes on, showcases photos, showcases dios, showcases setups. That would be fun, actually. I'd honestly be totally down to watch a series on you making a dio. Sweet. Just so you know, it would probably be a disaster. Just because I haven't done one yet. See, I enjoyed it. Good man, good man. I think that's the general consensus is we all recognize that maybe the plot wasn't quite there, but the characters were so good and the movie itself was so much fun that how could you not? Plus it's Deadpool. Like, let's be honest, if the plot's not quite there, it's Deadpool. It might even be on purpose. Okay, I'm going to stick with that. Let's see, Random Diorama builds dios every Friday. Oh, sweet. Might need to check that. Watch Random Diorama build them so that I don't stink too bad. And I'd love a series on dioramas. It's next on my list of, let's see, once life stabilizes. By the way, John, I haven't asked you in a while, how goes the hunt? See, on YouTube. All right, cool beans, Mr. Matson. I appreciate that. It's great. Fun channel, Dio Gandalf. Ooh, random dioramas. Hang on, guys. I'm going to actually type that into the phone. Random dioramas on YouTube. On the YouTubes. Why did I continue typing YouTube when it was suggested on my phone? Apparently, I typed that quite a bit. John, I technically have a job just waiting for my license to process. Can't start anything until I have that. Nice, nice, Mr. Spencer. And you took the cert, right? Like that's the one you were telling me. No, maybe I'm getting you mixed up. I'm sorry. Let's see. Yes, he wears a wizard's hat. Nice. I love it when people let their nerd flags fly. I met him in person at DFW. I will definitely be checking that out. He goes live and makes things live. Really? He also has some great tutorials, but they're pretty sporadic. That's all right. Chances are, if he's been up there for a while, and if you guys all know about him, if I get on there, I'll be able to backtrack and find some really good dios, like dio tutorials. Yeah, passed the cert pretty well, despite my anxiety. Just waiting game now. Nice, 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 nice. So you know it's happening. Dude, congratulations. I'm stoked for you. That's awesome. And with that, let's see. We'll get one more in. Guy makes full-on computer consoles and rocket mortars. That's, dude, I will definitely be checking out random dioramas. That's cool. All right, guys. So I think we've got everything pretty well covered, and I've got another one starting in 15 minutes. So I think I'm going to call this one. So thanks as always for stopping by. Massively appreciate it. Hope this focus chat got you helped you out a little bit. That's always good to try and focus. And I feel like it's a constant theme in my head. So it's probably a constant theme on here, but I want to make sure that, at least for me, I'm not going too crazy, dipping my toe in too many lines. So again, thanks for stopping by. And until next time, have fun and happy snapping. We're going to hit end stream now, and then I have to hit it again. That's why this is all awkward. So I'm going to hit it now and then wave. La, 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 yay.